Man, do I look like hot garbage. We've been in the middle of a heat wave. It's not been fun. It's a pretty consistent, bloody hot temperature in my house. Are you the type of person who enjoys combining their science and their magic, putting them together into a lovely science magic sandwich? Then you're going to enjoy the Technomancer, and we're going to talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome to the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. It's hot as balls out here and it's very, very hot inside my house. So if I look like garbage, it's because I'm sweating and I don't have AC. So yeah, this is a channel where we discuss role-playing games. So if that's something you're interested in, love to have you hit that subscribe button with the bell so that you know when my content is available. Today we're going to take a look at the Technomancer. This is available in the core rulebook. It was one of the OG classes. Starting things off, you're going to have 5 hit points and 5 stamina points plus your constitution modifier. It's a little on the low side, but as this class is not designed as a tanky or frontline class, you shouldn't be there. Now the key ability score for your Technomancer is actually going to be intelligence. This will determine how many spells you can cast per day, and it will also determine how effective your spells are at penetrating or being used in the calculation for your own DC when people are making saves against all the acid you're going to throw in their faces. Being that you shouldn't be in the front lines, you're probably going to want to have some dexterity as a secondary. You could also go with a little bit in constitution if you wanted to just give yourself that extra buff for hit points, or if you wanted to have a slight leaning towards the role-playing side of things, then fill it out into charisma. For your class skills, there's not going to be a ton of, but being that intelligence is your primary ability score, you're going to get those extra ranks for your skills anyways. And for proficiencies, there's not a ton here. Light armor, basic melee weapons, and small arms. Being that you are someone who is able to cast spells, you'll be able to pick your spells from page 338 of the core rulebook, not to mention all of the other supplements that add spells. See the Character Operations Manual, the Packed Worlds, and you can even look at Near Space for some extra bonus spells there. One thing to be aware of when you're picking your spells, you must have 10 plus your intelligence modifier to be able to cast whatever level spell that is. For example, to cast a second level spell, you must have 12 in intelligence, and a level 6 spell would be 16 in intelligence. The DC, or the difficulty check for your spells, is going to be 10 plus the spell level plus your intelligence modifier. Please keep this calculation handy, as this is going to be very important for your game master or your dungeon master to know, so when you're slinging spells all over the place, they will know what to base their saves off of. So at level 1, you're going to gain access to all those spells. You've created a special item. Now this can be anything. It can be a ring, it can be a staff, it could be a tattoo, it could be anything. You have been able to blend your magic and your science together, and this particular item or thing or whatever it is can actually hold 1 spell per day. And this particular spell does not count towards your total for the day. This is just an extra one that you're able to sort of blend to yourself or your item or whatever. At level 2, you will gain your first magic hack, and you will gain one every 3 levels thereafter. Essentially what this allows you to do is you can modify your spells. You can only apply 1 modifier to your spells, but you can know how to do many of them, such as increasing the range of your spell. So bringing a medium range spell to a long range is one example. At 3rd level, you're going to gain Spell Focus. This is a bonus feat. All Spell Focus does is make your spells as the Technomancer harder to resist. Mechanically, you increase the DC of your spells by 1. And as you get higher levels, it increases. At 3rd level, you're also going to gain Tech Lore. Now this allows you to gain a +1 insight bonus to computers and mysticism checks. And this will increase by 1 at every 3rd level moving forward. You're basically good at doing the magic and the computers. And then of course at level 3, like everything else, you gain your weapon specializations. Now the next class feature doesn't actually come until level 6, and this is called Cash Capacitor. Not as in like cash money, like woo, but cash as in computer storage. Cache Capacitor is an upgrade to your spell cache. What this will allow you to do is cast one of 4 spells on it, and that spell will last on you for 24 hours, or until you dismiss it. And the 4 spells you can cast are Detect Radiation, Disguise Self, Keen Senses, or Unseen Servant. You still expend a spell slot by casting it, but the trade-off is you get the effect of this spell for up to 24 hours. It's not bad. It has roleplay uses. At 12th level, this Cache Capacitor will gain an additional slot for a spell, and at level 18, it will also gain a 3rd slot for spells. That was only to level 6. Unfortunately, you're not going to get a lot of options moving forward until you hit level 19. This is called Resolve Attunement. Essentially, you are so good at casting magic that whenever you cast a 6th level spell, you will gain a resolve point because it inspires you that much. At level 20, because you have spent your entire career mixing and matching your magic into your technology, you can do something called Spell Fuse. This is kind of ridiculous. What you do is you spend a resolve point and you give up a number of spell slots to be able to cast magic at a higher level. For example, you spend a resolve point, you give up 3 level 1 spell slots, you can now cast a level 3 spell. If you give up 2 third level spells, you can then cast a level 6 spell. Here's the kicker. If you give up 2 level 6 spell slots and 2 resolve points, you can cast Wish. And holy crap, that's a powerful spell. Unfortunately, you do have to be level 20 to be able to cast it. Now, the Character Operations Manual does give you access to some new class features, so if you wanted to change the way Technomancer works a little bit, you can go with these alternative options. In exchange for Spell Cache and Cache Capacitor, you can no longer take those. You can gain Cache Augmentation. What this essentially allows you to do, you get a free augmentation on your body for whatever it is you want to put it. Have a good character history or good character story for having something like this. And this body part is empowered by your spells. And as you level up, your augmentation levels up with you. At 6th, 12th, and 18th level, this particular item also gains additional features for you to just make you better at being how awesome you are.
You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking.
The other alternative at level 6, and this replaces Cache Capacitor and Resolve Attunement. Basically, you get to select 3 magic hacks that you don't have that you have the prerequisites to meet, and then you can cast those as many times as you have resolve points for. The first one is free, everybody gets 1. But after that, you gotta pay a resolve point for them. It also costs you a move action to do so, and then at level 12 and 18, you get to do some more fanciness with those. At level 6, you'll also gain the ability for cache hacks. So this will change the Cache Capacitor and the spell list you can take, but otherwise it basically functions as Cache Capacitor is written. The Cache Hack allows you to change the spells that you've put into your Cache Capacitor, and there's quite a few different options that you have for this, should this be something you're interested in. The Devastator Cache, this will be focused on attacking and just absolutely laying waste to your enemies. Not a bad option to go for the all-out combat focus. There's the Gene Hacker's Cache. This allows you to more focus on changing your appearance, modifying your body magically. The Holographic Artist Cache. This is more about being creative and dazzling your opponents with brilliance. There's the Junker's Cache. This is more focused around tinkering, building weapons, armors, or machines. When it comes to spells for the Technomancer, there is quite a list to choose from, and you do have such variety for anything you would like to do. The Technomancer does deal some decent damage, not quite the same output as Mystic using Mind Thrust, for example, but they are still able to put out some pretty decent damage numbers. They also do have some healing options in there, and lots of other spells that you could use for simply just roleplay reasons. I will probably do a video later going over the spell lists specifically and more in depth for the Technomancer, the Witch Warper, and of course, the Mystic. I think the Technomancer is a good class. It's really going to appeal to somebody who really loves that sci-fi setting and being able to be good at computers and technology and still having a mystical or magical component. It's definitely a blending of some different science fiction archetypes and maybe some tropes, and I think that the class pulls it off quite well, actually. And if you're looking for something that's just a little different, go ahead and give the Technomancer a try. If you enjoyed today's video, consider hitting that like button, as that will really help me out. And of course, if you enjoyed this content, then you're free to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you know when my content is available. I would love to have you at the table. Up on the screen, you'll find some other Starfinder classes that I have done, and YouTube will have also made a recommendation for you there as well. My name's Nathaniel. You've been watching The Maple Table. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.